Okie dokie, Wolfpack. Happy Friday. A little short week from the holiday, but hope you guys had a good one and you're ready to finish off the week with a pretty intense day. Okay, we're gonna repeat the exact same EMOM as Wednesdays with the squat snatch. However, if you've been doing these EMOMs in the past few weeks, if you remember, anytime we're doing squat clean or clean work in this EMOM, it's way more challenging because you've got that weighted bar on your chest and compressing yourself as you go down to the squat, right? Extra weight added to the body. But two, in this, we're going to add the jerk. So you've got a whole second movement in this squat clean and jerk in the short little time frame of a minute to get it done. So please anticipate this being a lot more challenging and you having a lot less rest than the squat snatch. I know I watched a lot of people on Wednesday fall really far behind in the EMOM, whether they went way too heavy too early, didn't anticipate the later reps or the time between their reps to take as long as I thought they would, or just their overall fatigue, or even just adding weight took a little bit longer, and the first 3 minutes where we're doing triples took a little bit longer than I thought. So if anything, error super light on this one, okay, especially for the first 3 minutes, so you can get a feel of how the squat clean and jerk is feeling. It's been a while since we've comboed the two movements, and doing multiple reps in such a short little time fashion in this EMOM is probably going to pose to be a pretty tough thing. So we obviously want to make sure this EMOM is very technically based, right? We shouldn't just be doing crappy reps quickly just to get them in so you get more rest. So if I could stress anything, go super light and just make sure everything we're doing is perfect, clean, crisp, comfortable, right? You're going to add some fatigue in the legs. You're going to add some heart rate fatigue just because it is a double, right? A double movement, squat clean all the way up to a jerk in this EMOM. But I think if you are smart with your weights and we choose appropriate loads, you're going to be successful. You're going to get the technique work out of it, and it's not going to be the most challenging thing in the world, because I know the squat snatches were pretty darn hard, especially the AMRAP here. So just be smart, focus on our technique, right? We've got to make sure that we are extending our hips and getting our good high elbow pull on these later reps. Okay, the first one, you're fresh, it feels good. As we've accumulated all these heavier reps in a shorter time period, I watched a lot of people's extensions start to get limited, right? Their pull started to get a little lacking. Barbells out in front, things kind of got a little wonky. So just focus on your cues to make sure your squat clean is good. And then again, as the jerk continues through this EMOM and our legs are fatigued and everything is tired, we have to get underneath the barbell really fast, lock those arms out, and make sure we're catching in a good jerk position. So you're definitely going to have to pay a little bit more attention to the split jerk on these than we would if it was coming out of the rack. So again, go light, be smart, get really good technique work out of it, and I think this is going to feel pretty good. We are going to do an AMRAP again, or a timed thing again, so we get a couple minute rest here just like Wednesday, and these are going to be power clean and jerks. Okay, if I made these squat clean and jerks, it would take forever. It would be the hardest thing in the world, and nobody would have fun. So power clean and jerk at about 60%. This should be something that you can hopefully, for at least the first 5, power clean it and catch and go right into your jerk. It's going to be obviously a little bit heavier, but we still should be able to move this barbell relatively quick. Probably, a minute to 90 seconds on these would be realistic. So be smart when we choose the weight here. Even if 60% you think is daunting and it's not in the cards, then go ahead and lower the weight a little bit, because it is meant to be fast. We should be able to get through 5 to 6, relatively quick, 40 seconds, and then the next 5, 4 to 5, kind of go from there. So work on, like I said, catching in the power position and then trying to go right into a push jerk. If we're having to split jerk this weight, it's way too heavy. Okay, it should be something that you can clean, boom, boom, or clean it, get set up, and then push jerk it, right? We shouldn't be split jerking this weight. Okay? And hopefully it's not as fatiguing. The squat snatches were pretty tough here, but we're not going down on the full squat, so we'll see what happens. Okay? AMRAP for B, 12 minutes. This is going to be a pretty intense workout. It's going to be very global, right? We're going overhead squats, toes to bar, and box jump overs. Don't take for granted the midline fatigue that this and this is going to compile, right? Obviously, holding a barbell overhead for the overhead squats are going to be tough on the shoulders. It is going to tax the midline, and then as we get through rounds of toes to bar, right, we're hinging and compressing the midline, and then as we're doing box jump overs, as we get a little bit more fatigued, we're going to start slouching over, right? We're going to be in that sit-up crunch position, so this is actually going to affect the midline a whole lot more than people think. People think this is mostly legs. It will be, but I think there's going to be a big midline fatigue that's going to cause the overhead squats and the toes bar to get even more challenging as it goes on, hence why I put it all together. So we want to pick an overhead squat weight that we can either squat snatch right into the first one, or we power snatch, get set up, and go right into these overhead squats. We shouldn't have to clean this, put it on the back, move the hands over, and then jerk it to overhead squat it, because we want to be able to get through these reps pretty quick to start. We are going to add one overhead squat every round, so make sure this is a movable weight where we can go unbroken for the set of 3, the set of 4, the set of 5, the set of 6, the set of probably 7, probably 8, right? If we can get that far, we really shouldn't be breaking the overhead squats at all. So make sure this is a very, very movable weight. I anticipate this being a challenging portion of it, but it really shouldn't be any portion of the workout until we start to get the reps past the 6 toes to bar and towards the 9 box jump overs. So again, go light on that. From a stimulus standpoint, toes to bar, hopefully we can do in 1 to 2 sets. We should be able to move through them pretty quick. So if you need to bring this number down a little bit, maybe 3 to 4 is more realistic for you, so you can keep the rounds moving. I think that's awesome, because we are meant to get through a ton of rounds of reps here, especially in the beginning, with this overhead squat being so little reps to start. Okay, that's the goal. I've been talking way too much. Other than that, have a great weekend. If I don't see you, maybe you'll come to Saturday Wolfman Special. It's always a great time. If I don't see you, have a fantastic weekend. And we'll get back to some exciting program next week. Goodbye, Wolfpack. Later.